Well folks, even though the car is quite dirty, it doesn't pose any challenge, as we've washed worse things on the channel. Would you like the idea of creating a ranking of dirty cars that come through the channel? Something like the list of best times of 2G? Let me know in the comments if you like it, and we could do it through voting every time I upload a dirty car, ranking it from dirtiest to cleanest. As we always do with any job, the first step is to clear out all the objects and trash that the car has. We also remove the floor mat and anything that does not belong to the car or that is loose and can be easily taken apart, okay? After clearing everything from the car, we move on to removing the seats. The front seats in this car are easy to remove. We just need to take out one screw to release the seat belt and 4 screws that secure the base to the floor. After that, we will need to disconnect the seat cable connector and then we can take it out of the car. One question you always have about disassembling the seats with Elva is whether you need to remove the battery, and if you don't have it, I don't know if you have to take it out and not reconnect it until the seats are mounted back in their place. The rear seats of this car are more complicated, as the entire seat is adjustable to create space in the trunk. The whole structure of the seat is quite heavy, and it is difficult for one person to move it. The seats we have in the trunk will not be disassembled as they have hard to reach screws, and since they are not very dirty, we can clean them while they are still installed. Once we have all the seats removed, we place them in the outdoor washing area to clean them with pressure water, as they are very dirty and using the upholstery cleaner is quite a hassle. To efficiently and effectively remove the dirt, we will use the brand new multi-purpose degreaser, prepared at 10%, which is more than enough to thoroughly clean the dirt on the seats. Once we have carefully prepared our mixture, we thoroughly apply degreaser to all parts of the seat and let it act completely for a few minutes before rinsing with pressure water. As you can see, the color difference from one seat to another is striking. On the bottom of the passenger seat we have a small stain, but it's from some kind of glue, so the only option to remove it would be to replace the piece. When we have them cleaned, to speed up the drying process, we will vacuum out as much water as possible with the upholstery cleaner. For this process, you can use any vacuum cleaner that can handle wet suction. Before we start cleaning the car, we are also going to wash the trunk carpet. Since it has a lot of dirt and grime, the first step is to do a dry vacuuming to remove everything that can be easily vacuumed. After vacuuming, since there is a lot of dog hair, we are going to use a special brush for carpets that helps to remove all the embedded hairs. To remove the stains, we place the carpet in the outdoor washing area and apply degreaser. Then, using pressure water, we remove all the mud and oil stains, leaving the carpet completely clean. We can now start cleaning the car. Before vacuuming, we remove everything that can be picked up by hand, and then we can give it a first pass with the vacuum cleaner. In this first pass, we are going to remove all the surface dirt, as this carpet is very poor quality and traps a lot of dirt that the vacuum cleaner will not be able to remove. To leave the carpet 100% clean, we are going to use the tornado. In the tank of the tornado, we will put a little degreaser and the rest, water. The first thing we are going to do with the tornado's nozzle closed is to give the carpet a dry pass to perform a second vacuuming and remove as much dust as possible before using the tornado in wet mode. And on the second pass, we use it by applying degreaser to remove the stains and dirt trapped in the carpet. There is no mystery to this. The tornado lifts the dirt and we collect it with the vacuum cleaner. The two seats in the trunk, since they are not very dirty, can be cleaned with just one pass of the tornado. Here on the backrest of one of the seats, there were some oil stains that are complicated to remove with the tornado. The best option is to apply degreaser with the sprayer and use the upholstery cleaner to vacuum and rinse as many times as necessary until the water runs clear. In the foot area of the passenger seat there were also oil stains, so we repeated the process. After applying the upholstery cleaner, we took the tornado and finished cleaning all the dirt from the carpet. Now that the carpet is clean, we will move on to cleaning the roof. You might wonder why not clean the roof first before the carpet. The problem is that cleaning the carpet kicks up a lot of dirt and stains the rest of the interior of the car. That's why I always start with the carpet. First, we are going to clean the roof and then we will clean all the pillars. To clean the roof, we will use the tornado with the same degreaser mixture as the carpet. First, we start by removing the dirt wet and then we go over it dry to remove moisture. The roof looks like new. To thoroughly clean the remaining parts of the roof, we apply degreaser and use a microfiber cloth to remove the dirt. Before continuing to clean other parts of the car, we will remove the upholstery from the handbrake lever to reupholster it later, and in doing so, we will clean the dirt that has accumulated inside these plastics. And we also remove the steering wheel cover to clean it properly. We will start by cleaning the doors. With the same 10% degreaser mixture, we spray the door. As you can see, just a few seconds after applying the degreaser, the dirt starts to come off. To thoroughly clean the door fabric, we apply the degreaser and scrub the entire fabric with a brush, and then we use a cloth to remove all the dirt. As you can see, the change from before to after is quite noticeable, and something I have never shown is the dirt that can come out of just one door. And this, although you don't see it in the videos, is something I do very frequently, rinsing the cloths, because when a car is very dirty, the cloths almost become useless. If it weren't for the fact that when the degreaser falls on it, rinsing it makes it look new. And for the rest of the doors, nothing, we do exactly the same cleaning procedure. This is the dirtiest part of the car, and it's normal as it's the part touched the most with hands and collects much dirt. I don't know about you, but for me, this moment of pouring the degreaser and seeing the amount of dirt it has, I don't know, it's a bit pleasurable. As you can see, all the parts that are touched by hands have a lot of grime. And the worst part is that sometimes this dirt goes unnoticed until a cleaner is applied. And here in the seam area as well, we apply a bit of degreaser and scrub with the brush, and that's it. Just like I showed you the dirt that came out of the door, look at the dirt that comes out of the steering wheel. The rest of the car is cleaned in exactly the same way. If we have any areas with more ingrained dirt, we use a brush a little to remove everything, and that's it. When cleaning plastics in the interior, they turn white and they are burned. This happens when they are exposed to much sunlight or when we apply an aerosol dashboard cleaner. We will address this problem later. To clean the air vents, I recommend having compressed air to effectively remove all the dirt inside. We could also disassemble it to clean it, but in some cars, it can be a hassle and a piece could break. We are also going to clean the belts. You have seen me do this in many videos. We put a container with clean water, place the belt inside, and add a bit of degreaser to the water. We remove a little so that the degreaser mixes well and leave the belt submerged for half an hour or as long as we want. Then we put clean water back in and rinse them. After that, we take them out well with a cloth, and that's it. We do the same with all the belts. As I mentioned, we are making a fix for this, though it's complicated since we cannot upholster it fully because of the iris. The only thing that comes to mind quickly to avoid having the rubber like that is to make a patch to cover that area. To ensure the fabric is level with the cutter, we make a small recess and then glue the fabric directly to the steering wheel, and that's it. Now we are going to restore the steering wheel rim. We are going to do a quick fix with textured plastic paint. If you have any doubts, I assure you that it works and holds up just as well as if we upholstered it. With a sanding sponge, we will lightly sand the leather so that the paint adheres, and then we will use masking tape to cover the areas we do not want to get paint on. To ensure that the paint adheres well, we will first apply an adhesion promoter. We will apply 2 coats on both sides and let it dry for about 20 minutes. Once the promoter is dry, we can carefully paint with the textured paint. We need to apply it in light layers and not overload it so that the textured effect is preserved and feels good to the touch. Once dry, it has this texture, and you can hold it without fear and squeeze it hard without worry. Now we are going to do the upholstery for the gear shift and the handbrake. We need to completely unpick the pieces to remove the old parts. To ensure that the new pieces turn out better, we are going to iron them, but I am reconsidering something, and we are not going to make these upholsteries as I usually do. Taking advantage of the fact that I have a new laser engraver from the brand Skullfun, which not only engraves but also has an air compressor that allows it to cut, I thought of creating the 3D design of the pieces for the gear shift upholstery so that the laser does not cut them. This may seem like a lot of work, but the design is done only once. Once done, you just need to cut the fabric pieces you want in no time, and that's it. The way I came up with to make the design was by putting the pieces of fabric into the printer scanner. With the scanned fabrics on the computer, we need to clean the images of defects and slightly smooth the edges, and then convert it into a solid color. If the fabrics are missing something, we can create that in Photoshop. Once we have it done, we simply need to put it in white, to introduce the file into a program that will create a 3D object with the image. Now, we need to save this 3D file in a format compatible with another program that will create the file for the laser. In this program, we will need to provide the dimensions we want our piece to have, so we measure the width and height and give them to the design. And we can now export the file in SVG format, put it in the linking program, and then place a piece of fabric to cut our part. To achieve a clean cut in the fabric, we need to turn on the compressor and then start engraving. There are more adjustments to make on the computer before cutting, but we will make an exclusive video or a live session where I will show all the linking details. When we have the first piece of fabric cut, we check it against the old one to ensure it has the same shape and that everything fits well, and then we cut the rest of the pieces. We are testing the laser, engraving a mosaic. For engraving, we need to stop the compressor or the laser has too much power, even when we lower the intensity. We do the same engraving on the other pieces and we can start sewing them now. If you want videos on how to sew and for me to show you the things I know, leave it in the comments and I'll make a tutorial for the secondary channel. Once we have the pieces joined, we need to make a visible stitch, and before fully joining the pieces, we have to sew the part where the gear lever is attached. Here we need to leave a gap to place a tie wrap that will be responsible for securing the fabric to the gear lever. We finished sewing the pieces, and we can now mount the fabric on the plastic support and install it in the car. Rate me from 1 to 10 for the comments on what you think of this idea for making the upholstery. For the upholstery of the handbrake, we are not going to complicate things too much, as it comes in one piece and has a very simple seam. We make a copy directly from the original fabric, cut it out, and then sew it just like the original was sewn. Then, we only need to put it back on the plastic support and mount it in the car. We only have to clean the pieces we have disassembled from the interior. To clean them, we immerse them in water and add a bit of degreaser. And with a brush, we clean them and remove all the dirt. Once we have them clean and dry, we reassemble them in the car. Now we are going to restore the color to the interior plastics. For this, we will use the dashboard polish. This product is a gel and should be applied with a sponge directly onto the plastic. We put a small amount on the applicator and spread it over the plastics to be treated. Once it is spread out, we let it dry a bit, and with a clean fiber cloth, we remove the excess product, leaving a more natural shine. To recover the burned areas, we do it with this product in the same way we applied it on the door. My recommendation is to spread it over all the plastics of the car and then go over it with the microfiber cloth. Well, we finally have the interior completely clean, and all that's left is to mount the upholstery, which has dried while we were doing all this work. We can now move on to the exterior. We are going to polish the headlights. Never done here. To make the headlights, I have the famous liquid polymer. When the headlight is accessible with the polisher, I prefer to polish. The work of using the polymer and the polisher is similar. We have to follow the same sanding process and in the end, apply the polymer or the polish. We protect the area near the headlight with masking tape in case the sander slips, and we start sanding dry with a 320 grit sandpaper. In this sanding pass, we need to completely remove all the varnish from the headlight. Once varnish is removed, we use soapy lighthouse, and we sand again with the same grit, 320. Next we use a grit 400, and we perform all the sanding steps of the lighthouse wet. The most important part of polishing the lighthouse is sanding. We must sand evenly and cannot make large jumps in grit. We cannot use, for example, a grit of 320 and then move to 1000, as the 1000 grit is not aggressive enough to remove the scratch from the 320 grit. We need to sand the lighthouse gradually, and it will turn out perfect. After sanding with grit 400, we move on to 600 and then to 800. Grit 1200, 1500 and 2000 will be applied by hand using a foam block. And to finish the sanding process, we use a grit 3000 with a machine. This process is optional, as the polish from the grit 2000 is sufficient to remove it. As you can see, with all the sanding we have done to the lighthouse, we have made it almost transparent. Now we just need to polish the lighthouse. To polish, we use cutting polish, and since the sanding we have done is very fine, one pass over the entire lighthouse is more than enough. We repeat the process for the other lighthouse exactly the same, and that's it. And since we are at it, we attach the trim of the passenger side lighthouse that was broken on the inside. Next step, cleaning the engine. The first thing is to disconnect the terminal from the battery to avoid any short circuit. There is no need to remove the battery from the car. To remove the dirt, we are going to use the multi-purpose degreaser, but here we will use it undiluted so that the dirt comes off more easily. We spray a little on all the areas we want to clean and let it sit for a few minutes. Then with pressurized water, we remove all the dirt from the engine. Once we have the engine clean, we dry everything well with pressurized air and also dry all the connectors and parts where water may get trapped. And if we want to nourish the plastics of the engine, we can apply dashboard polish. We can now move on to the bodywork. The first thing we are going to clean is the dirt on the wheels, which as you can see are quite dirty. If anyone doubts the effectiveness of a wheel cleaner, know the multi-purpose degreaser is one of the best wheel cleaners because it is not necessary. And I'm not saying this to sell it. I'm telling you that it removes dirt like crazy. I've tested it on wheels that probably hadn't been cleaned in 10 years, and all that rust that seems to be stuck on the wheel comes off quite easily. Once the wheels are washed, we move on to the car body. Using a 10% solution of multi-purpose degreaser, we treat the areas where the car has bugs, such as the side mirrors, the windshield, and the front bumper. We let the degreaser act, and we are going to prepare the pink body shampoo, which is special for pre-wash. This shampoo can be applied with the lance of the pressure washer, and we can also do it with a hand foam sprayer. To prepare it, we put a little shampoo in the lance's tank and fill the rest with water. Then we directly apply the shampoo to the bodywork. If you notice, the foam is pink, but has just the right tint so that it doesn't stain, as there are other brands that have too much tint, and when we dry the car, all the drips that fall are the color of the shampoo. We have to keep going over and drying all that by hand. We need to leave the shampoo on the body for a few minutes to loosen the dirt, and then rinse everything off with a pressure washer. After doing the pre-wash, we can perform a deeper hand wash with the wax shampoo and a microfiber mitt. To do the wash, we need 2 buckets of clean water, and we have to put a little wax shampoo in one of the buckets and use the pressure washer to create foam. We wet the microfiber mitt in the water with the pink body shampoo and start rubbing the body to remove the dirt stuck to it. We rinse the mitt in the other bucket of water to remove the dirt that gets stuck on it. After scrubbing the entire car, we rinse it again with a pressure washer, and that's it. To quickly dry the water off the car, we are going to use this rubber squeegee that is specially designed for drying cars. This is easy to use. Run it over the body to remove water and avoid typical limescale marks. Then, with a towel or a fiber cloth, we finish drying the rest of the car. Now we have the car completely clean, and only a few details are missing, such as the tire shine. This rubber shine is a concentrate that we can use pure or dilute it from 10%. I like to apply rubber shine directly to the tire and prepare a diluted spray to apply inside the wheel wells to keep them black. As a final touch, we will clean the windows. We will use the multi-surface screen and glass cleaner. The term screen is used because it is not just a window cleaner. It is for monitors, stationary devices, and all types of screens, but it works perfectly for windows. Applying any wax to this car is not worth it, but I will show you how they work. To use the QD tiler, we just need to apply a little to the area to be treated and use a cloth to spread the product until it evaporates. This wax serves as a quick wax and for dry cleaning. Carnauba wax is a little more complicated. To use it, we need to slightly dampen the applicator, put a bit of wax on it, and spread it well over the body. Once spread with a clean cloth, we begin to remove and polish the wax. The car's paint, as you can see, is quite damaged, but you can notice the layer of wax and how it has regained some shine. Guys, after 37 minutes we have the car finished. I'm going to leave you with a before and after, and I'll tell you a few things.